Hey guys, so this isn't going to be a super complicated video or anything like that, but I remember a while back somebody asked me about my nighttime routine, like basically what do you do at night to keep your locks, either from drying out or breaking and, with everything going on. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of a couple of the different things that I use to tie up my hair, as far as what I do to prep it, as well as show you, depending on how my hair is, exactly the method I use to put my hair away, okay? So let's jump right in. So first of all, a couple of quick things. Really, when it comes to prepping my hair at night, I honestly don't do much preparing as far as like moisturizing and that kind of thing, just because as we know, water that sits in your locks has a tendency to stay in there, and if it's not allowed to properly dry and fully dry out, it's just gonna lead to a bad scenario, whether it be mold or being smelly or just being wet overnight. Not a good thing. So if my hair just feels exceptionally dry, I will spray my scalp, right? Because your scalp with your body heat has a tendency to go ahead and dry. Or if I just really feel the need to do something to my locks, I will do a light mist. But I don't full on, put in all this stuff like maybe we did when we were loose naturals, right? So really, like I said, if my hair's super dry, mist my scalp, that's it, all right? So really, there's two main differences when I am securing my hair at night. And that is going to be what I'm really trying to do with it. So 9 times out of 10, if my hair is like wavy or curly or anything like that, my main goal is to keep the curls as secure and tight as possible, okay? And that's where this comes in. Now, to be honest, when it comes to maintaining curls, I really prefer to put a hairnet on and then maybe this on top, depending on if I have my satin pillowcase or not. But I don't have any hairnets right now. My other one's tore and then one got lost in the move. But just the basic hairnet like you would see the lunch ladies wear, you can get them at Sally's. If you find the ones that are big enough, that's the best way to preserve your curls, okay? But if you don't have that, this is a great alternative. So what I'm gonna do, I normally will just kind of loosely sit it on my head like this, right? It's not really doing anything yet, but I just want it in place. And I will take my curls, right? Let's just pretend this is still waves or curls, and I bunch them up as much as possible, just really trying to keep them in their form, and I will tuck it into the bonnet, all right? And it's gonna feel kind of loose at first, so don't worry about that, but you wanna tuck as much as you can, okay? And then you will go maybe to another side, right? And you take it as much as possible, and you're gonna bunch the curls in there, okay? You just bunch it up, just like that. You go all the way through, okay? And once again, you're gonna kind of bunch it up into the bonnet, all right? Sorry guys, hold on. Okay, there we go. So as you continue to bunch it up in there, some of the curls may move around and fall, but really the point of this is not to create a new style. We're just literally taking it and smushing them up in there, right? It's kind of just really smushing the curls. But if possible, you can just try to keep the curls as close to what their shape is as possible. And it's okay if it feels like they're kind of squished, if they're kind of bumped up, bunched up in there, because that's the goal really, is to keep them as tight as possible. And you just go through and make sure that you've got them all in there, right? Now where you've got to be particularly careful about doing this is in the front, right? So in the front, we have a tendency to let those kind of slide, but these you really want to make sure that your hair is bunched in the front, because that's where our curls usually fall first, because they tend to get really flat, or depending on how you do it in the back, right? So it's not quite like a pineapple because you're really trying to smush everything, right? And you see how it's kind of sitting up high, because that's what we want. We want the curls to sit up as high as possible on the top of our head, right? And that's where this comes in. Let's say your bonnet's leaving a little bit on the edge, right? You can take this thing, the scarf or anything like that, and tie it around the edge just like that, okay? And then there you go. And you can tighten that as needed, but not too tight on your edges, but just enough to where it'll slick down your edges, but also protect your hair. And voila, it's really squishy, and it doesn't matter if you lay on it or do anything like that. So it tends to be relatively comfortable when it's time to go to sleep. And in the morning, you just take it down, right? You're gonna just take this off, kind of shake it out and go from there, right? And obviously if this was curls, they would be really fluffy and still doing what they need to do, right? So it allows your hair to naturally fall, but not in such a way where it's going to cause any frizziness or breakage or anything like that, right? So that's the first one. Now, the second thing I would usually do with my hair is more like a wrapping method, and that's if I want to keep my locks straight, or let's say I'm wearing twists or braids and I really want to keep them very stretched out so that they fall naturally, kind of like my hair is falling now. It falls naturally on my face, okay? So there's two ways you can do that. Once again, you can go with trusty bonnet, right? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna treat your hair as two separate sides, especially if you're like me, where your hair grows in layers. So I take the top half and I wrap it around the back and I tuck it there, okay? And it allows the hair to really stretch all the way. Then I take the hair on this side and do the same thing, stretch it as far as it'll go. Not to the point where it's uncomfortable, but just enough to where your hair is really laying flat, right? So now we've just got the back. So then you're gonna take the bottom half, or just the back half if your hair is all the same length, and you're gonna kind of cross them around one another. Same way you essentially did up top. But it really helps to have them both kind of together in the back because your hair is gonna start trying to rebel. Okay, so you take that, okay, and then you take this one and you're gonna bring it up under this way, right? And so that's what you're doing. Essentially, you've wrapped your hair so it's going around this way and it's staying as stretched as possible, all right? Now, you probably need to make some adjustments, make sure nothing's hanging out in the back, and you can kind of do the same thing by tying this if any of your edges are loose or anything like that, right? And so when you take it down, your hair, you know, will fall exactly like that. All right, guys, so it pretty much goes the same way if you're gonna use the scarf. You're just going to take this, make sure you got it about even, okay, and put it on your head. And we're gonna kind of use the same method. Some people may find it better to go ahead and wrap it with like bobby pins first and then do it. But you're essentially just gonna take your hair and wrap the left side as far to the back as you can and the right side as far back as you can, all right? Once you kind of got a general hold on it, you can grab the scarf like this, okay? You probably want to pull it a little bit forward if you can. All right, and then you take one side, and you take the other side, all right, and you cross them. Oh, you cross them, and you bring it back to the front. Now, no worries about this hair hanging out in the front, no big deal. Okay, so we're gonna tie this very loosely, okay? Very loosely. So then you just take these hairs and you kind of just tuck them back into the scarf, right? So it's fine if hairs are falling and moving around while you're doing this, right? Because at the end, all we're gonna do is just tuck them back in anyway, the way they should go. That's it, all right? And so you see at the back, there's a few hanging out. So you just go back through and do your best to kind of tuck where you can. Hopefully y'all can hear me. You just tuck where you can. All right. Just get those all up under there. All right. And that's it. You kind of created your own little tight, secure thing going on here. And I like this one because it is a great way to keep your hair secure. Depending on what you're trying to do, especially with the braids and twists, because they tend to be a little bit too much to fit in here. But that's it. And in the morning, you can kind of take it down like so. All right, and voila, kind of same thing, right? Take it and then, you know, fluff it. All right, and there you go. That's it. Your hair is ready to go. It falls perfectly, kind of in the right direction. You can tuck a little bit back there, right? You know, and it keeps your hair from being all like bunched or having any marks or anything like that. But that's pretty much it. That's really all I do at night. Hopefully that helped. I'm sorry about the lighting. It's the sun setting, so I'm like trying to rush and do this now. That time change is kicking my butt. But thank you so much for the continued support. If you have any questions or requests or anything like that, please let me know. I plan on doing my hair tonight or tomorrow, something like that. So I will try to record that because I'm gonna actually be styling it. So I will keep you posted, guys. All right, have a good one. Bye.